think again. The South getting socked with snow right now. Team coverage of this late winter blast. A major and dangerous storm.
White House fence jumper, this serious security breach, and intruder scaling a perimeter fence, making his way to the south portico doors near the first family's East Wing residence before he was caught.
Secret Service did a fantastic job. It was a troubled person.
What Secret Service agents say they found inside his backpack.
Not going quietly, the high-profile U.S. attorney in New York, Preet Bharara, refusing to step down as Donald Trump clears house, tweeting, "I didn't resign. Moments ago, I was fired." Confident of his job security just months ago.
I agreed to stay on.
So did something change, or were signals crossed? Plus the phone call from the White House and why he didn't call them back.
And it is Selection Sunday. The kickoff to March Madness with the first pairings announced. Who will be the king of the court? Who's going to be the Cinderella story? All the expert help you need for a winning bracket.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Happy Selection Sunday, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. You've already lost an hour of sleep because of daylight savings time, and many of you are now waking up with the news that a possible blizzard is on its way. Yes, spring is just 8 days away. It is a week from tomorrow, but we are not quite out of the woods.
Yeah, many of us are having a say it ain't so moment with the one Rob Marciano, who's been showing us maps like this one. We've got winter storm warnings in the middle of the country, and then there's a blizzard watch in much of the Northeast.
There's still much uncertainty about just how bad it will be, but millions of people are in the path of what could be a significant and even crippling nor'easter. It's already snowing in Charlotte, North Carolina. The roads there are treacherous. You can see from this accident that was just captured by our local affiliate.
And in Bellevue, Tennessee, the peach trees coated in white. We've got team coverage this morning. ABC's Eva Pilgrim is out in New York's Central Park. But first, let's go to Rob, who's right here in the studio. Hey, Rob.
Hey, good morning, guys. Our warm February seems like a distant memory. Now March has come in with some serious madness, that's for sure. That snow across the south, kind of a precursor for what's to come. And we've got about half the country now under winter weather alerts, with nearly 100 million people impacted by this. Winter storm warnings now for the upper Midwest. That's the first part of our storm. Of course, the cold air down across the south, that kind of sets the stage. And this blizzard watch that's been up since yesterday afternoon for parts of New York and Boston, that spells significant. This disturbance will come together for a big old mess. Plus, we have that precursor. Covering it all is Eva Pilgrim live for us outside in New York City. Hi, Eva.
Good morning, Rob. We just got snow. Central Park is still covered, and already Mother Nature is sending in the next wave. More snow is headed our way. This morning, more than half the nation under winter weather alerts as two storm systems collide. Overnight, the southeast reeling from the March storm, several inches falling. Snowfall blanketing downtown Asheville, North Carolina. In Tennessee, salt trucks trying to stay on top of the accumulation. Bad visibility making for dangerous driving conditions as temperatures plummet. And in Michigan, nearly 200,000 people still without power following Wednesday's freak windstorms. Crews working around the clock with the Midwest expecting heavy snowfall tonight. All of this just a taste of what's to come for millions across the Northeast. A major winter storm forming, a blizzard watch now in effect from New York to Boston. And in case you didn't know, it is cold, and it's only going to get colder. For now, we sit and wait as this system moves in our direction. Rob?
All right, Eva, yeah, wind chills below zero in many cases across the Northeast, and that cold air, obviously, one of the ingredients when we talk about this snow that's coming in. But Chicago, Minneapolis, you're going to be first to get it tonight into tomorrow morning, so a bit of a bad rush hour there, 3 to 6 inches in spots, and Chicago's had pretty much no snow this winter, so you're going to get some to start things off with this one. Then by tonight, it starts to get into D.C., tomorrow night, I should say, into Washington, D.C. You're right on the cusp of the heavier snow, but here we go. Tuesday morning, just a big mess. Philly, New York, Hartford, in through Boston. The winds are going to be kicking as well. We're talking about, blowing snow that will reduce visibility 30, 40 miles an hour, and that will create some coastal flooding as well. But it should be out of here by Tuesday night, but no picnic behind that. And potentially, it looks like 5 to 10 inches down towards D.C., 10 to 15 from Philly up through Boston, and a sliver of 15 inches plus in spots. Obviously, we'll be manipulating this forecast over the next 24 hours, but a high-impact event for sure. Paula, back to you.
You know, I thought the deal was when Rob is delivering bad news like this, we made him do it from outside.
Exactly. What happened to that? Why are you inside? Why are you inside today?
They cut me a break. I don't know what to tell you. You got to roll up our sleeves, and we got to dig into this forecast, guys.
Let's get the bosses on the horn.
Exactly. All right, Rob, we'll check in with you a little bit for the national forecast. And moving now to a significant security breach at the White House. The Secret Service arresting a man who allegedly climbed the fence and tried to make it in the residence with the president inside. Gloria Riviera is at the White House with details about the accused intruder and the backpack that he was carrying. Gloria, good morning to you.
Good morning, Paula. This is the first serious security breach at the White House since President Trump took office. The alert level here was raised to orange. Now, that is one of the highest levels. According to court documents, when White House police confronted the alleged intruder on the grounds and asked him, "How did you get here?" he said simply, "I jumped the fence." This morning, authorities in Washington are investigating how an alleged intruder made it onto White House grounds while the president was inside. It was 11:38 p.m. Friday night when police say 26-year-old Jonathan Tran scaled the northeast corner of the perimeter fence, dropping down and heading towards the south portico doors, not far from the east wing, where the first family's residence is located. Court documents say an officer spotted Tran, who told him, "I am a friend of the president's. I have an appointment." Inside his backpack, authorities finding 2 cans of mace, a book by the president, and a letter to Trump. In that letter, Tran allegedly mentioning Russian hackers. The president was briefed on the incident after it happened and praised Secret Service.
Secret Service did a fantastic job. It was a troubled person. It was very sad.
Held in federal custody without bail, Tran now facing possible charges of illegal entry while carrying a dangerous weapon. Other infamous White House breaches include this man in 2014 carrying a knife, sprinting towards the White House, successfully making it all the way inside the East Wing before being stopped. He was charged with 1 federal count of entering a restricted building or grounds while carrying a deadly or dangerous weapon, eventually pleading guilty to both charges. And it's not Trump's first encounter with an overzealous supporter. Just last year, this man scaling his way up Trump Tower using suction cups, later telling police he simply wanted to schedule a meeting with then-candidate Trump. Stephen Rogata was charged with first-degree reckless endangerment and third-degree criminal trespassing. He pled guilty to both. There are plans underway to boost security here by raising the fence. Those plans are set to be completed next year. Dan?
Controversial in some quarters. Gloria, thank you. The other big story involving the Trump administration this morning, that bizarre standoff with a prominent federal prosecutor. U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara refused a request from the Justice Department that he step down, and then he tweeted that he got fired. ABC's David Wright is in Washington with more. David, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan. Even if this is the first time you're hearing his name, you've definitely heard of Preet Bharara's job. This is the most prominent prosecutor in the country. It's Giuliani's old job, or if you watch the show Billions, it's Paul Giamatti's character. And if there were ever a case where the alleged crime scene were Trump Tower, this would be the guy most likely to try it. Not many prosecutors get the cover of Time magazine, but that's Preet Bharara in 2012 with the headline, "This Man is Busting Wall Street." Back in November, the president-elect summoned the fiercely independent prosecutor to Trump Tower and asked him to stay.
We had a good meeting. I said I would absolutely consider staying on. I agreed to stay on. I have already spoken to Senator Sessions.
Not anymore. On Friday, the Attorney General asked for resignation letters from all 46 federal prosecutors who were Obama-era holdovers. Bharara refused. "I didn't resign," he tweeted Saturday. "Moments ago, I was fired." But ABC News has learned there were crossed signals. Sources say Bharara received a voicemail Thursday from the White House asking him to call back and speak with the president. No reason given. Bharara believed speaking with the president would violate DOJ protocols. So he contacted the Attorney General's office instead and told the White House he could not speak with the president. The White House declined to comment on the phone call. Sessions' decision to clean house comes one day after Trump loyalist Sean Hannity called for a purge.
For weeks, we've been warning you about the deep state Obama holdover government bureaucrats who are hell-bent on destroying this president, President Trump. Tonight, it's time for the Trump administration to begin to purge these saboteurs before it's too late.
But the White House notes plenty of other presidents have installed their own prosecutors, too. One big difference is that the Trump Justice Department is already embroiled in controversy, investigating Russian meddling in the election, including allegations Trump campaign officials may have colluded. The Attorney General himself is under scrutiny.
Therefore, I have recused myself in the matters that deal with the Trump campaign.
As we say, it's not uncommon for an administration to put their own prosecutors in at the Justice Department. What is odd here is the timing, the abrupt order on a Friday afternoon after promises were apparently given amidst everything else that's going on at the Trump Justice Department. Dan?
Yeah, David, a lot to talk about here, so thank you for your reporting. Let's bring in ABC News chief anchor George Stephanopoulos, who's going to be hosting This Week later this morning. Good morning, sir. So do we think it's really possible that the Trump administration made this move after watching Sean Hannity on Fox?
The timing is curious, but go to David's point right there. President Clinton fired all 93 U.S. attorneys back in March of 1993, fired all the holdovers from Bush. So this has happened before, no question about that. But the timing is curious. The phone call from the White House is curious. Was the president just calling to say, hey, I made a promise to you, I'm not going to keep it? Was he giving him a heads up? We don't know, because Barrara rightfully did not call back. It also comes 2 days after Barrara was petitioned to look into, by independent groups, to look into the Trump organization. Again, just a question right there. But bottom line, the fact that presidents want their own U.S. attorneys in there is routine.
You want to talk about that deadline tomorrow that the House Intelligence Committee has set for those wiretapping claims, and how do you expect the Trump administration to respond?
I don't know. The FBI director, James Comey, asked the Justice Department about a week ago to come out and say that there's no evidence for this right now, that the president was wrong. And we'll see if they accede to the request from the top members of the House Intelligence Committee. But even if they don't, tomorrow, here's the key date, March 20th, a week from Monday, when James Comey is scheduled to come up and testify in public before that House and before the Intelligence Committee. I think if the Justice Department does not come out before then, you will see James Comey at that hearing give the answer that he believes to be true, that there was no wiretapping ordered by President Obama.
Let's talk about the other big piece of business on Capitol Hill right now, which is the repeal and replace of Obamacare. What's the status of this legislation, and how big a fight do you think it's going to be?
It's taking a lot of fire right now from conservatives in the Senate and the House, from liberals, from the AARP, from doctors, hospitals, and nurses. On the other hand, it has gone through 2 key House committees so far. A lot's going to depend on what happens. Also, something expected to happen tomorrow. The Congressional Budget Office, which is the nonpartisan group inside the Congress, which assesses how much bills cost, what kind of effect they will have, the health care bill will have on coverage for people who now have health insurance coverage. If that assessment comes out and shows that several million people will lose their coverage under Obamacare, that the cost will increase over time, I think that could significantly slow down this legislation. You've already got key senators. One of them is coming on the program this morning, Tom Cotton, Republican of Arkansas, saying that even if this bill passes the House, it has no chance in the Senate.
But as you pointed out, the Trump administration is already raising questions about the people crunching these numbers that are coming out tomorrow. So it's a complicated situation, to say the least. George, thank you very much. And a reminder, George has a big show this morning. He's going to go one-on-one with the White House Budget Director, Mick Mulvaney, and, as he said, Republican Senator Tom Cotton on the battle over health care, plus 2 top Democrats challenging the Trump administration, Congressman Adam Schiff and Elijah Cummings. That's all coming up on This Week, right here on ABC.
Let's send things over to Ron Claiborne, check in with you for a look at the other headlines. Good morning. Did you get enough sleep last night?
No. Did you?
Never.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Good
morning to you, Paula and Dan. Good morning, everyone. We're going to begin with news from overseas in Syria, where Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has called U.S. forces in his country invaders, adding that he hasn't seen anything concrete, his words, yet in President Donald Trump's vow to make the battle against ISIS a priority. He made the comments during an interview with Chinese television. Currently, about 500 U.S. forces are deployed in Syria in support of the campaign against the Islamic State. In Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, a 3-year-old girl died in a house fire that investigators say was started when a hoverboard was being recharged and it overheated and exploded. 2 other girls who were in the house at the time and a firefighter were airlifted to the hospital, all 3 in critical condition. And new video from a just-released documentary shows Michael Brown, the black teen fatally shot by a white police officer in Ferguson, Missouri 2 years ago at a convenience store earlier that day. The new video appears to show a transaction of some kind between Brown and the store clerk. Previous video showed Brown allegedly stealing cigarettes from the store before he was confronted by the police officer who shot him, provoking days of racial unrest there in Ferguson. A grand jury declined to indict Officer Darren Wilson. And Joni Sledge, the founding member of the R&B group Sister Sledge, has died. The driving force in the sister group that's best known for the hit We Are Family and the disco jam The Greatest Dancer. Sledge and her sisters Debbie, Kim, and Kathy formed the group in their hometown of Philadelphia back in 1971. Joni Sledge was 60 years old. And in California, we're getting a first look this morning at a small trail that firefighters and volunteers have been using to carry supplies to nearly 500 residents stranded in coastal Big Sur because the only bridge in and out of that area is damaged beyond repair. The Pfeiffer Canyon Bridge, it's called. It crumbled last month, leaving people without access to grocery stores or public services. The bridge is set to be demolished tomorrow. It'll take a year to build a new one. And finally, Six Flags Over Georgia is naming a ride for New England Patriots.
No.
They're doing this because they lost a Super Bowl bet, like Rob lost to me.
And he still
at
hasn't
a
paid
sister
up.
theme park. I still owe Rob in New England. The Georgia theme park bet on, surprise, the Atlanta Falcons. Remember that game? The 240-foot tall swing ride that will be called the Patriots Sky Screamer. In addition, New England clam chowder will be dished out at the park on opening weekend.
Guarantee nobody's going to ride that ride and nobody's going to eat the chowder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow, that's much more painful than the M&Ms that I owe you for losing that bet.
That wasn't the bet.
Yeah, green M&Ms of a sort.
You
But I
still,
still owe
you
you
still
that.
haven't paid up?
No, that we have a running tally, and you still
Yeah, I
owes
think I'm
me.
down
Yeah,
a few
you're
M&Ms,
down
right?
a few, yeah, that's for sure.
Well, you owe us because the weather's cold, and I thought you had something to do with
At
this.
some
Your
point,
fault.
you have to pay the piper, and we had a very mild winter, so that's exactly what we're doing now. And even across the South, just this moments ago, and across Asheville, North Carolina, where the snow is falling there, a couple of inches on the ground. Places like Nashville saw snow, Arkansas saw snow yesterday. And this is kind of a precursor of what's to come. And here's Nashville. Yeah, the tulips, you hear about the daffodils in Central Park, but the tulips, the later bloomers, they're already up in Nashville, and we got snow that accumulated there. This snow pulse will hit Charlotte, Columbia, maybe Lumberton and through Wilmington throughout the morning and evening hours, and then it's out of here before the next one comes in. And if you just need some warm thoughts, the desert Southwest getting to near 90 degrees in Phoenix, 94 degrees in Palm Springs, and 88 degrees in LA. Doesn't that sound nice? That's a quick check on the national headlines. Here now is your local forecast.
Feels like temperatures this morning, teens and 20s, so bundle up on your way out the door. Through this afternoon, we'll feel a little bit warmer compared to yesterday. Lots of sunshine and that daytime high in the low 40s. Winter storm watch goes in effect tomorrow night through Tuesday afternoon for much of the viewing area. It's all due to our coastal storm that we're going to be watching very closely. Now looking highly likely for accumulating snow D.C. on north, heaviest of which comes Monday night.
That is the latest weather report. This is a time of year where men and women of all ages will get sick and find themselves in front of the television because of March Madness. Tony Wjla here to break it down.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if
weather
they're getting sick. I think they become sick when they realize the games are on all Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday.
And the only cure is to go to the pub and get some wings and
Yes, yes.
choice
Look at this. I have
beverages,
the perfect bracket right here.
That's the perfect bracket.
It says Paula on it. It's blank, but at this moment, you're the only pick I'm making, Paula.
That's a losing
Let's talk bracket right
That is a losing bracket. Okay, so first and foremost, we're talking about Selection Sunday. It's one of our favorite days for college basketball. Dan, you can chime in just a second with some analysis.
Yeah.
But you're guaranteeing a winning bracket, and we're talking about bubble teams.
Guaranteeing a winning bracket. Yes, no pressure. You know, like I tell Francesca, my 2-year-old, there are no bubbles now after we've done it for an hour and we're like 3 inches deep in suds. There are no bubbles this year. More than any other year, I think, in recent memory. It looks pretty low. Syracuse, maybe some tense moments this afternoon. Maybe Southern California, but outside of that, it goes back to the favorites from last year. You remember last year? Villanova, one of the greatest shots of all time to win the national championship. And this is my favorite part. Coach Jay Wright, one of the greatest reactions of all time.
Look at that.
Bang. Just won the championship. No big deal here. So Villanova coming in really hot. They're a lock for the 1 seed. I like Arizona after winning the Pac-12. Gonzaga, Kentucky, and Duke. Going to be interesting to see who gets the last 1 seed there.
Okay, so everybody loves a Cinderella. Some have already punched their ticket to the ball. Some are going to find out a little bit later when the brackets are released. Who are your picks?
How does Southern Methodist University sound to you?
It sounds